At this time, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Nashville Town Council to order on this June 18th, 2024. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, we invite you into this town council meeting tonight for your wisdom and your guidance to help us make the best decision for all the citizens of Nashville. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the first item on our agenda is we have some minutes to approve. The first minutes are for June 4th, 2024. Did you find any corrections that needed to be made?
Being none, I move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
At this time, we have our public comments. The first person is James Baker. Please come and state your name and your address.
My name is James Baker, 103 East Green Street. I just wanted to bring up the topic of about the proposed new town hall. I'm just asking you, council, if all you guys really think hard all about it. Right now, with all this new tax revaluation that has come out, we don't know how it's going to settle. Like the surrounding counties and all, they have went back and they reduced their tax per $100, but we only cut back 2 cents when the year before we went 3. And I'm just asking, before we go any further with this project, let's let the dust settle, because we got stuff with this infrastructure here, like our sidewalks, still on Washington Street in Austin, that still needs to be addressed. And we need to take care of some of these things first. And just like the pothole, I told you that's on my street. This is the 3rd time I brought up the problem about that pothole. I'm just saying, just think about everybody right now, because there's a lot of folks out here that are hurting. And we really don't know what's going to happen after the first of the year when all this new tax base and stuff comes in, because people are going to have to dig in their pockets, and some folks are really suffering.
Thank you, James. Virginia, but
Virginia Budzinski, 400 East Church Street. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have 2 things I just wanted to mention. The first was a big concern of mine with the recent postings and messages that have been going out about the Nash County EMS issues, about some towns being left without coverage. I think that's something that the residents of town and of Nashville would be concerned about if we were to fall into that, no coverage area for a certain time. My other concern is still the speed limit on 58 First Street between the railroad tracks and the Cooley House. I do have a petition that was recommended by the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Mr. Grantham got a hold of me regarding that. He told me to get a petition for the and present it to town council, and it would be up to you to petition the state to ask that speed limit to be reduced to either 30 or 25. If with your permission, I would like to either leave it up here on the table if people want to come up after the meeting and read it. The letter from Mr. Grantham is also in here, if they would be willing to sign it. I'm still planning on going door to door in my neighborhood. It's hard because a lot of people don't want to answer their doors. And I just want to try to bring it to the attention of the speed.
I don't see any problem with that at all. If you just leave it there, and
Okay.
people can sign it. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the proclamation. So I'd like for the family members of Cappy Dornsteff, if you please come up and just stand around while I read this. And if you just come right up here and leave space for me. And I've explained to the family why I'm not standing up tonight, so they understand. We're here tonight honoring the life and service of Mary Catherine Stanfield Cappy Dornsaff. Whereas the town of Nashville mourns the loss of a dedicated public servant, Mary Catherine Stanfield Cappy Dornsaff, who passed away on May 14, 2024, at the age of 92. And whereas Cappy Dornsaff was born on June 9, 1931, in Nash County to the late Bob and Mary Jones Stanfield. She graduated from Nashville High School in 1949 and Meredith College in 1953. And whereas, after raising her family, Cappy returned to Nashville in 1979 with a deep desire to give back to the community she loved, embarking on a long and distinguished career in public service. And whereas Cappy served with honor and dedication as a member of the Nashville Town Council for 16 years, holding the position of Mayor Pro Tem on 3 separate occasions, exemplifying leadership and commitment. And whereas Cappy contributed to the well-being and progress of Nashville and beyond through her service on numerous boards, including the NC League of Municipalities, the Risk Management Insurance Board, the Nash Community College Foundation Board, and the Nash County Economic Commission. And whereas Cappy's influence extended to the state level governance through her membership in the North Carolina Women in Municipality Government, where she served as state president for a term advocating for women's roles in municipal leadership. And whereas Cappy was also a successful entrepreneur, running her own word processing business and later a dedicated realtor until her retirement, demonstrating a strong work ethic and business acumen. And whereas her faith and community spirit were evident in her lifelong membership and active participant in the Rock Creek Baptist Church, where she sang in the choir and contributed to the church community as part of the kitchen crew. And whereas Cappy Dornsaff cherished her family deeply, and her legacy lives on through her 4 sons and many other extended family members and friends. Therefore, I, Brenda Brown, Mayor of the Town of Nashville, do hereby proclaim June 9, 2024, as a day of the remembrance and celebration of the life and contributions of Mary Stanfield Cappy Dornsaff. We honor her memory and the indelible mark she left on our community through her tireless service, leadership, and love. And I present this to you, the family. And if you let her get a picture, come together. Thank you, and thank you so very much. We loved your mother. Bye-bye. Here in this hot is Christmas decoration lights. So I'll turn it over to Randy.
Thank you, Mayor. We have with us this evening Kyle. Don't be shy, Kyle. He's with the Mosika Design Company from Youngsville. He is the sales representative for the company that we've been talking to about getting new Christmas decorations for Washington Street. And we have the proposal from the company. The last meeting, the council wanted to know if we could get real Christmas decoration lights here for everybody to look at, see, touch, and feel. And so we got a hold of Kyle, and Kyle, take it away.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens of Nashville. It's a privilege to be here with y'all tonight. Thank you so much. I have printed out a couple of papers with the proposal, with the pictures of the items in the proposal, if I may pass them to the council. Thank you. And then in the hallway, I have the just a sample. It's not one of the samples that's actually in the proposal or named here. We didn't have one of those in stock in Youngsville, where we're located. So I just brought a different 6-foot snowflake. So I'll go grab that, set it up here, so y'all can get a first-hand look at it. I'll be right back. It's a big one. It's heavy.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of that. Okay. You sure? And I need relationships to the lady.
Shall I get the best look at it? Is this good? Is this okay? All right. So just a little bit about us. We're Mosca Design, located over in Youngsville, North Carolina. So I live in Rollsville, so it's only about a 40-minute drive to get down here to Nashville today. So not too far, just down the road from y'all. We warranty everything for 5 years, 5 Christmas seasons. We expect that they'll last 15 to 20. Try to catch my breath from bringing that big old thing in here, but so it's completely compatible with all the pole-mounted brackets that y'all have up on the poles now. But every single one of them comes with a new bracket in case you need a new one to put up there. The lights there are retrofit LED, so they really don't draw much power from the grid. And if one goes out, just untwist it, and we got them in stock in Youngsville. You can just twist a new one back in there. So any questions that y'all have, feel free, please. And I'd be happy to answer them for you.
I have one. You know, the pictures of the ones that the citizens like,
Sure.
that you're going to get input on, are they the same size as that?
They are. So each one of those is 6 feet tall.
Okay.
This is a 6-foot by 6-foot snowflake, and each one of those is 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Is it the same material where it would be
Yes.
Sorry, where it would be? So, for example, the Christmas tree, it would be like red piping with red lights, green piping with green lights.
It's a good question. So all of the actual frame is white, and then the only thing that changes is the actual color,
The color of the light.
bulbs. That's
Okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
But none of these are like tinsel or anything. They're all just the same light.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. They're all silhouette, just with steel construction.
So during the day, they're going to look white.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Randy, on the samples that we got from what the committee had decided on, why are we getting 5 different kinds of lights? I mean, different designs of lights.
Well, when we had the meeting with the chamber and the Downtown Strong and the council, you know, it was asked which ones you like, and these were the 5. Doesn't mean you have to buy all these. I mean,
Okay,
if
okay.
you
You could find one.
like, it was just a recommendation.
Okay.
Some are cheaper than others.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah.
But downtown, they decided to buy the not so expensive ones, right?
Well, yes, the Downtown Strong, which is responsible for giving recommendations on how to spend the MSD money, they did select 2 that are not the most expensive.
And which 2 were those? Without me looking at
On that
numbers.
proposal, they were selecting 3 of the 6-foot presidential snowflakes, 4 of the 4x6 silhouette fantasy trees, and 3 of the bells with bows. They weren't selecting the holy candle or the heavenly angel.
Okay, I got you.
That snowflake is the one you described. Is there more than one?
The one in the proposal is our presidential. This one's an Arctic snowflake, so it's not the same one. This is just the only 6-footer we had in the
So the picture
warehouse.
is the Arctic.
No.
The picture is the presidential. That's in the proposal. That's right.
Which is not that one.
I'm not seeing the difference. That's what I'm trying to figure it out.
Can you spin that around so
Sure.
we can see it?
With the same three that downtown is
Will be, keep in mind, there's no two snowflakes alike.
Well, I know. Okay, that's good. I just want to take a look at that. Okay. Okay, that's as close to the presidential you're gonna get.
Yeah, the president has a little more in the middle, I
A little
guess.
bit more in the middle.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
We've got
So
one
what you
out.
proposed to us, though, was a couple more expensive ones, right?
Well, this is just what everybody liked most. This was the top, I guess, 5. But if we want to keep things so that they're not cluttered, you know, where we're going to be totally different from downtown, we can stick with what they're doing and just alternate. You know, you see it all the time. Beach towns do it with a couple of different types, but we don't need to do 5 different types. We can
No.
do the same 3.
I would like to stay with the snowflake and the bales, and the Christmas tree one just leave out. That's my preference.
So is the angel yellow instead of white? Is my
It can be. I think it's just a tint in the photo.
Okay.
It'll be the same color lights as
I got
actually
you, I
this
got you.
is right here.
And is that considered a warm white?
That's a warm white. Yes.
But we would definitely need all the same shade of lights
Definitely.
to keep it looking nice.
Well, I kind of like the idea of having a green, a red, and a white.
On the Christmas tree.
Right.
As long as you place them in, you
Right.
know, so that they aren't all confused and there's an order to them
Right.
when you hang them.
I mean, I think they look fine. I just want to make sure that everybody out there and out there thinks they look fine, because I don't want to hear about it next month or in January.
We don't want to go through that.
Can we turn it around for
Sure.
them? Yeah, please.
Can I ask a quick question?
If you'll come to the podium, that would be great.
Nancy Westbrook, Nashville Graphic. How hard, are those any particular type of bulbs, and if so, are they hard to replace?
It's a great question. So they're C7 LED bulbs, and they're as easy as replacing.
So if one comes out, it still stays on.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, I'm good.
And obviously the 5-year doesn't cover the bulbs; it covers just the frame.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, if there are no other questions, I'd just like to say to you, thank you so much for bringing this down for our citizens to see, so that we'll know exactly what we're getting.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
for
as well.
having us.
Do we
Thank
have
you.
any input from our citizens
From
before we
citizens,
make a
anybody?
decision?
I'd love to hear that.
Well, I don't know how
We
we
have-
get
we have a
that.
pass.
I don't know how we get that from here tonight, but you can certainly.
Well, do we have to make a decision tonight?
We don't have to.
Well, the
Well, he's-
discount, they've already extended
They've
it.
already extended the
Already extended.
discount period, so
But what we're looking at isn't really what just you have to choose from.
it's up on. Show it. Put it up there for Alan to see.
Oh, we can get that. We can get that one, right?
Yep.
I kind of like the presidential better.
The presidential has more lights. Looks like.
So
doesn't
the
it?
3 that they're
Yeah.
looking at are the tree, the bells, and the snowflake.
Go back up, Randy.
The bells in the bottom left corner, they're red.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do we want to just stick with all snowflakes?
We,
Okay, let me ask you this, so we can move along. How many would like to just see one kind downtown, just one thing? Okay, how many would like to
They
see?
going up, they
Oh, there's
going
more.
up.
Oh, I didn't see this side.
They
They
just started
going
going
up
up
one by
last
one.
minute.
How many would like to see just one thing?
4.
And see, I would too, tell you the truth, because I think that looks classy and,
Uniform.
and uniform.
But we already have stuff already, correct?
We have poinsettias.
And they're red. And they're for downtown, or they're all over town?
They're for the downtown.
For the downtown.
They have other stuff than lights on them, don't they? Or do they? I believe they do.
The poinsettias have garland on
I
them.
thought they did.
Of course.
Were they from
Okay.
you also?
Yes.
They were, okay.
So let me ask you this. How many would like to see the 3 different types that the MSD wanted to see?
It's about equal. I didn't count them up, but it's about equal.
Not equal, yeah.
I think it's, what?
If you vote for 2? Yeah, you went from 1 to 3, different.
Well, we have one already.
We have one, we have the poinsettia already. So how many would like to add one more thing to the poinsettias then? Let me put it that way. One more to the poinsettias. Somebody look and just get an estimate.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9. Louise over there has 9.
9.
So we can get more poinsettias and more snowflakes and have two of them, right?
No more
No?
poinsettias.
I don't like those with the garland.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
that's just my.
The starfish.
I'm not.
I need to be quiet, but anyway. So how many would like 3? That means we'll have our poinsettias and 2 others.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So that being the case, we only need to select 2 out of these 3.
So is that,
one?
Which ones?
No, which one? The white, the 1 or 2?
okay, if we select 1 to go with the poinsettias, how many would like for it to be the tree?
We got
2.
over here.
2. How many would like for it to be the snowflake?
A lot.
A lot. Snowflake carries. Okay, so why don't we do poinsettias and snowflakes?
Okay.
Everybody agree? Everybody who will be happy at Christmas with poinsettias and snowflakes, please raise your hand. Thank you.
I'm not happy to say you are.
Thank you so much, and thank you for coming. That it will be.
Now, the poinsettias you do have, right?
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
But we're not ordering any more of those,
We're
right?
just going to add
We're just
snowflakes
adding
to
snowflakes.
adding.
We're just gonna add the snow.
I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're just adding
We
snowflakes.
just
Yeah.
purchasing snowflakes. Okay.
How many do y'all have downtown? Because you're talking about spreading it out a long distance.
It's going to be a lot of snowflakes,
There'd be
not a lot
39
of
of 'em.
poinsettias.
Yeah.
39.
And then we're just going to put the pretty poinsettias downtown with one in between. That'll be very uniform and attractive.
You need to
Vote on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to vote on it.
Okay. Town council?
I'll make a motion. I'm not sure what I'm motion on.
Go
So
ahead. Go ahead and make a motion.
we're gonna order snowflakes and 39 of them. That's all we're doing. Yeah, I make a motion. We do that.
Okay. Second.
All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming.
And
Thank y'all
put-
so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you.
The
Don't
next
don't
item-
quote me in the paper.
Next item on our agenda is an annexation of 797 Cook Road.
So on June 4th, the council met and certified the sufficiency of annexing 3.2 acres on Cook Road that the town recently purchased, and set a public hearing date for its annexation for tonight, June 18th. The annexation notice was published in the June 6th edition of the Nashville Graphic, and letters were also sent to the abutting property owners. At this time, the council can open and hold the scheduled public hearing on this annexation and receive oral and written comments on the annexation. And upon conclusion of that public hearing, the council can vote to adopt ordinance 2024-08 annexing 797 Cook Road into the town of Nashville.
Do I hear a motion to open the public hearing concerning the annexation of 797 Cook Road into the town of Nashville?
So move.
Second,
Second.
is there anyone that would like to come speak to this issue? If so, please come up to the mic. If not,
Being no input from the
Yeah.
audience, I move to close.
is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
So at this time, I would like to hear a motion for us to approve the ordinance 2024-28 annexing the property into the town of Nashville.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is amendment to FY25 fee schedule.
So when the budget was adopted at the last council meeting, attached to it was the fee schedule for 2025. And unintentionally and inadvertently, a couple of fees that staff wanted to propose to the council increase didn't make it on there. So I have on the agenda tonight for the council to consider those. The first one would be an increase in the after-hours opening and closing fees for coffin burials. We had in there for the urns on cremations. We forgot to put in there for the coffin burials. And that's the one we need to change. And then the addition is for an impoundment fee of abandoned vehicles in a secured area of the town until the vehicle is reclaimed or disposed of per NC General Statute 168 303C. And then the second addition at the bottom of the next page is a while back we adopted a front yard parking ordinance that had a penalty or a fee of $25 per citation or violation, and we wanted to add that to the fee schedule also. So those are the changes. If you want to see what they look like in the actual fee schedule, they're on page 152, highlighted there. The opening and closing after hours was 900. We're proposing 980. The for residents and non-residents was 1,050. We're proposing 1130, which is the same increase we did for interment by cremation. And then going on to the next page, 154, the front yard parking violation, $25, and vehicle impound in a town yard of $300 a week.
Are there any questions concerning this?
Landon, what was the rationale for raising the opening and closing for residents from 900 to 980? What's the rationale behind the $80 increase?
Well, we were trying to get the fees to cover the cost. You know, they're after operating hours, which means to have an employee come in and do that, whether it's on a weekend or a weekday, that's after hours, we have to pay them time and a half. And setting the fees, increasing the fees to these amounts, when we calculated what our cost was, covered the cost.
Any other questions?
The weekly impound, is that prorated if it's not a week?
It could be,
Yeah,
you know,
I
our hope is they come get it.
But if we charge them $300 if they come in 2 days?
So
It's not clear, that's what I mean.
it's not clear.
Can we make
I mean,
it clear?
If
Yeah.
you want it that way, we can certainly
I
do
don't-
it. And maybe we should have it by the day.
All right, by the
I
day.
mean, it just doesn't seem clear to me, so I mean,
Yeah.
whatever we need to do, I don't want people to,
What would $300 divided by 7? $42.85 per day.
so $45.
$45.
Any other questions or input?
I'd like to see it change to $45.
Okay. If would
Per
there
day.
no other input or concerns, do I hear a motion to approve the amendment to the FY-25 fee schedule, increasing the opening and closing fees for the entombment of coffin and establishing an abandoned vehicle impoundment fee and listing the front yard parking violation fee?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, the next item on our agenda, mine's stuck together here, is the Fellowship Church purchase on 969 Old White Oak Road. Randy?
Mayor and council, as you know, we have an accepted 3-year purchase contract with the Fellowship Church for the purchase of the Fellowship Church property at 969 Old White Oak Road. We have a 90-day due diligence period in that. And during that time, the council wanted a thorough assessment of the condition of the building and an idea of what it would cost to remodel the building to house town hall and the park and rec. So we have a contract with Dawson Construction Services, and we have with us this evening Monica Stedman and Scott Garner with Dawson Construction Services, and they're here to give an overview of the condition report that they prepared for us and to give you their estimate of what it would cost to upfit the facility to meet the town's needs for that use. Monica and Scott, if you would, please.
Hi, I'm Scott Garner, Dawson Construction, Monica Stedman. All right, so we did a report. We went and reviewed the site. Overall, as far as the building goes, we didn't see any we didn't notice any structural issues. We did assessment of, well, let me first say what we assessed. So we assessed the basic structure, the septic system, the roof, and electrical, plumbing, and mechanical systems. Generally speaking, the structure's in good condition for its age. We didn't notice any foundation issues, and there's some of the accessibility didn't meet minimum requirements. So there's some things we need to do to the exterior of the building. And then plumbing, mechanical, and electrical. So the electrical was relatively, there's a full report here on the electrical, plumbing, mechanical. Electrical was in decent condition. We didn't note any major issues there. Nearly all of the mechanical systems have reached its life. There were a few units, I think 3, that due to theft, there were most of it, some parts have been replaced inside of it, but for the most part, most of them were in their late 90s models, dates of manufacture. I think the newest ones we found were 2014. So as far as mechanical goes, we would recommend all the mechanical systems be replaced during this part of the renovation.
Could you give us a cost of that, replacing those mechanical?
Was that included in the cost you gave us?
It was.
Okay.
I suspect that's just replacing the mechanical units themselves were about $150,000. I want to say it was, I don't remember the tonnage. I want to say it was close to 30 or 40 tons total, I recall.
Excuse me one second. Randy, I don't see the electrical or the plumbing in this pamphlet. Do we have that?
Should be the.
I didn't
The
see it
one
in
we
there.
handed out today,
Page 3.
Page 3?
Page 3.
Sorry.
We'll start there now.
And basically did a floor plan, overlaid the floor plan with a key to indicate what we found. And indicating if most systems we were able to identify data manufacturer and those things, there were a few that the nameplates we weren't able to identify. And I believe all of them were working at the time of the inspection.
So I'm sorry. I don't. I see a summary, but I don't see a report. Am I missing something?
Is this the report of the electrical HVAC?
Yeah, this is the report. So it's 11.
It's folded up.
It has a key, has a floor plan, and then a key with the notes.
Red numbers on them?
So I
Yeah,
see the
11
red
to
numbers,
17,
but
that's it.
it generally says, insulation deteriorated, electrical appears okay.
That's
Those notes?
correct.
So I don't see anything in there saying recommendation, replace all mechanicals, and it's gonna be 150K. Do we have anything that breaks down, like what exactly is recommended?
That's what I was looking for myself.
No,
Yeah.
so we didn't go through each one and give a recommendation. We just went through and gave the age and the conditions that they're in.
Okay,
So it was just a condition, yeah.
okay.
How old is this building? How old is this building?
Late 80s, I believe. Most of it was built 89, I believe.
It was 30 years old.
Yeah.
And when you say in your report, installations has deteriorated, do you have a general feel of what it would cost for us to go in and get them back up to standards? on each
Which
one of
item
those?
was that?
Pretty much on all of them were,
If you look on page 7, where you've got the exterior specifications, specific notes, I've highlighted each one of them being item 2, 8, 7, 6, 9,
or is that
10,
included with replacing?
13.
Yeah, so that would be the installations around on the ductwork
Mhm.
going into from the unit into the building.
That would run us to how much?
That would, So
Or is
I
that
gave,
that included in the 150?
so the 150 that was really just to replace the units themselves.
The units
Okay.
themselves?
Correct. There was we an estimate a renovation of the building to be 1.2 to 1.4 million. And would anticipate that to be part of that renovation process. Because there will be ductwork changes and things based on the change of use and the remodeling of the interior.
Is that the same as was on page 158, 159 of our book? Is that the same estimate? 'Cause that-
158, 159 in Stock's cost estimate for running a 6-inch water line and an 8-inch sewer line out there.
in addition to what Scott's talking about.
It's in addition to what Scott's
Oh,
talking about.
that's correct.
yes.
So he said,
I'm sorry, just for clarification, it's running an 8-inch water line and having a lift station with a force main. So
Sorry.
8-inch water and pump stations with a force main.
Thank you, Mike.
yeah, and I see your report, but you'll get a chance to come up and explain how you broke it down to us. But that's above and beyond the 150 that he's citing.
Well, his estimate, the 150 included in your estimate is, the 1.2 to 1.4 million for
Correct. That
everything.
150
Well, that's
is
for everything,
included
everything.
Right.
in that renovation range, yes.
But we don't have a breakdown as to what goes towards plumbing, what goes towards electric, what needs to be done tomorrow versus what can be done 5 years from now.
No, we did not look at it from that perspective. So from a high level and based on our experience for renovation costs, we just did estimate based on historic data and mainly a square foot by square foot. So it would take a quite deeper dive into a cost analysis and we've done some fit tests as part of what we've done. So we would have to take that and actually go a little deeper dive to get more exact renovation costs.
So I'll make sure I get this right. So these plans we have here, projected plans with moving walls and doing things, and includes, and that is all that included in that, including the upgrade and the plumbing and the electrical and heat and HVAC and all that, but does not include the water and sewer.
That is
okay,
correct.
all right, make sure.
Does it include, I know you had like a roofing,
It also does not, I was about to say, it also does not include the roof work. So the roof, the gutters, the flashing, and all the fasteners, it's an exposed fastener metal roof. It's been painted previously, it appears, and then, like I said, the gutters, the flashing, and the fasteners have reached its life. So the fasteners are rusted, the neoprene washers have deteriorated. So there's a the roof needs to either be replaced or a significant repair. When I say repair, replace the fasteners, the flashing, the gutters, and then we would recommend do a silicone type coating, and you would get a 15-year warranty with that. That is estimated to be about $230,000 for the roof repair. A complete replacement of that roof would be somewhere around $500,000.
Oh, boy.
But it's not leaking right now, is it?
We didn't notice any leaks. But there's some pictures in there in our report that shows the damage or shows the wear.
Did you have a question, Xavier?
I do. And let me just ask this, is the 1.2 to 1.4 million, is that inclusive of an elevator in this project as well?
It does.
Okay,
It is.
thank you.
so now that's something that can be done down the road versus now, especially if we're not gonna be utilizing the upstairs for public space, correct?
Well, I think before you can claim occupancy, it's got to be in there. Is that right, Randy?
Well, it's my understanding if we're not using the upstairs right away,
We don't have to
and
use
it's
it?
not, no public is gonna be up there, we don't have to do the elevator immediately.
That's correct.
I guess that's where it would be very helpful to see what needs to be done to
Because see, we were-
upfit versus what we can budget for 5 years, 10 years down
Yeah,
the
because we
road.
wanted to not all do it all right now,
Right.
just what needed to be done and just break it down over maybe 5 or so years.
And we didn't look at it that way. We were given a list of needs,
Yeah.
and so we looked at it holistically. we can certainly sit down and go through the town's needs and work through that.
Thank you.
I think that would be nice.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do before we go further with this. Because there's a lot of costs that we still have not zeroed in on. And when you get into roofs and stuff of that nature, and he's provided us pictures that show, I call them rivets. The gutters are rusting out, and the rivets of the holes are backing out, and all that stuff would need to be done immediately.
So is that what your assessment is, that at least the 250 to repair would have to be done immediately?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How much time would they anticipate would that buy us if we spent that kind of money?
So you would get, just the coating would give you a 15-year warranty. So I would suspect a 15 to 20-year lifespan on that roof from that point on.
From that point. Mm-hmm. So replacing it isn't required at this point.
Replacing is not required, not based on what we've seen.
Well, that's good news.
Randy, how much more time do we have on our due diligence agreement?
Well, the agreement was signed April 22nd, and we had 90 days, so that would take us to July 22nd approximately.
July 22nd, okay.
And I would just like to say to the public, we're really looking through this and chewing on this as carefully as we can to do the right thing. And let me tell you why. I don't believe in looking in the rearview mirror. I think you always need to look forward. But we looked at what a fire station, not doing it, cost us about 7 years later or 6 years later. We can also look at an opportunity to buy some great property, which we didn't do, that could have given us a place to build a nice town hall, rec center, and we missed that. And so we've been told that a facility like that out there to build today could cost about $11 million. So we're just looking at everything to see how it will save the citizens money and what's best for the citizens and serving the town. So we aren't taking this lightly at all. But, I think it might help if we study this maybe till the next meeting. Can we do that? Will we still be in the time period?
Mm-hmm.
And then just see, how do y'all, give me your thoughts.
I agree. I definitely need to look at this more, and I'd love to see the breakdown of just what absolutely needs to be done now versus what we can do later. But two, I did want to hear from you, Mike, just on whether the water line is even necessary right now, if not, when it will be, and then the same with septic having to be replaced with the lift station situation.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mayor, members of the council, my name is Mike Stocks, Stocks Engineering. The short answer is the water and sewer on well and septic will work fine for the time being. We ultimately, we have a 2-inch water line coming past, Public Works right now, but to extend water out, we would need an 8-inch extension to get the pressures we need. That obviously would benefit on the fire flow side, which isn't required, but, the well could fail a month after we get out there, and we could replace the well, for, $10,000 or $15,000, or we could run, water, and the extension of the water line was, $500,000. The septic works the same way. We have a septic field it's not abandoned, but it hadn't been used for many years. Certainly not at the volume of what we would potentially use. It may work for a month or two. It may work for 10 years, but eventually, it would cost about $750,000 to replace with a public system to pump it back to the town. So none right now, but you could be in a situation of needing public water and public sewer
Very soon.
2 months after you get in the building,
Right.
when the septic system fails. You're not going to know it until you start using it.
So, Mike,
Yes, sir.
If we change the use from a church to a public use, doesn't there need to be some kind of sprinkler system? And is that going to be okay on a well, or do we need to have water for that?
Yeah, we're gonna defer that to Scott, or somebody. I'm ground down, buddy.
Okay.
Monica Stedman with Dawson Construction. So based off of our code review, you will not need a sprinkler system. Because the building was built at different times and there was various additions, luckily they put firewalls between everything. So you would not need a sprinkler system.
Even changing the use.
That's correct. Mhm.
And then
That's
heavy
good.
remodel.
Sorry?
Heavy remodeling was not going to trigger it either.
That's right. Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll repeat what Monica said.
Now, so you said if we had to replace the well, that would be $10,000 to $15,000. And then as far as septic, forgive me, I really don't know how these things work. Is
Yeah.
there like where you can get a new septic instead of hooking up to sewer?
Well, septic, yes. I mean, assuming the soil perked and there was a space available for it to be. A typical residential unit could cost $5,000 to $8,000, you know, to replace a septic field. Obviously, it's based on the length of line and the amount of flow you have going into it. So, you know, it could be two residential. Residential is good for around 360 gallons per day. So that would give us, I think is it 15 gallons per employee or 20 gallons? Do you know? Let's use the term 20. Okay, so we could put like 36, you know, employees in the building, and that would be around 720 gallons a day of sewer flow. At 20 gallons, again, it may be 15, 20, but it's not 50. And I don't. So my point is, it probably cost massive replacement could probably be 15 to 20,000, and that would give us enough for about, you know, 30 employees. 30, 35 employees.
And if we do this replacement or extension of the water and sewer, it's going to be enough for other things around the building too.
Yeah, the reason we'd run an 8-inch out there is for fire protection, just, you know, fire hydrants. But then if it's extended, ultimately it could loop back around, tie to Cook Road and the whole system and improve the pressures in that whole quadrant of the world. So, yes.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Mayor, I would offer that we table this so we can get some more firm numbers and we all have a chance to dig into this a little bit deeper, because we are dealing with some, even though a new town hall would cost us, we told $11 million, but we have a site for a new town hall right behind the existing town hall that was purchased years ago with the anticipation that we can put a town hall back there if we needed it.
In a residential area?
Right there, directly behind the town hall. We own that entire lot back there. And it's wide enough to put a town hall. It may not be wide enough to put a town hall at a gym, but it'd be wide enough to put a town hall to fit our needs. Hold on, let me finish. Yeah, it is in town limit, but I'm trying to look further. I mean, annexing it into the town is no big deal, but what I'm looking at down the road, if we expect for our citizens to walk out there to it, then the next thing we've got to look at is putting some sidewalks to give them somewhere to walk to go out there. As I've always said before, I walk through the building, and there are great potentials that we could use for the town hall, but I'm still stuck on the location. I have not been convinced that's the best location we would have, and be spending this kind of money, town's money. We need to look at it a little bit harder. So I think we need to table this and give us all a chance to fill this out. Give the citizens a chance to contact all of us and give us your opinions on for or against, because I've kept a tally of the people that have told me, yes, I'm for it, and no, I'm not. And believe it or not, I'm running 50-50 right now. Just as many people for it that have contacted me as those that don't agree with it has contacted me. So people can contact me for other stuff, so contact me for this also.
Do I hear a second to table this?
Second.
July 18th.
And I'd like to tell the citizens that are here, I mean, I want to hear from you, but I need you to beat the drums out there and tell your neighbors and stuff to let me hear from them also. You're just a handful of citizens. I need to hear a bunch of folks.
It's a hard decision.
It's a hard decision.
But I don't want to put it in a residential neighborhood that doesn't fit in. And I mean, I'm not saying we should put it somewhere else, but the other argument is, I hear the argument about way out there. Well, before I got on council, I never went to the town hall unless I paid my water bill, and we're gonna have the water bill in town. So that argument to me is irrelevant. It's a building that we're gonna use that people aren't gonna go to no matter where it is. So that argument's not there. Now, I'm not saying I'm going for it against it at this point, because those are concerns. But at the same time, I think the location argument to me is moot, because people don't go there anyways. So,
I think for me, it comes down to taxpayer dollar, and so I want to do the math of what it would be now looking at this versus what it would be if we were to build a building behind, and I see how that pans out and what we would be getting for that. So if they were both the same amount, what are we getting versus what we would think?
And then there's something else that seems to be going now, that the grant money is not coming to build new buildings. We just got something today about grant money to restore the town's property that they have. So we could get grant. Of course, you know, every time you write a grant, you aren't guaranteed you're going to get it, but there is there's an opportunity there, and there are some good grants just coming out for restoration of places like this, towns.
What is the square footage of this?
Come to the stand, Wait, I just saw it.
You can repeat the question though for the microphone.
Okay.
What is the square footage of the
Okay.
residence?
It's on, I know that the gym has 7,900 square feet. And there's it says a recreation room that has 640 square feet. There's one program room that has, it's divided like that out, 1,560 square feet. But
I mean, is that like 30,000 square feet?
22,000. Overall, it's 22,000 square feet.
So the reason I asked that question is there's a building right downtown Nashville with more square footage than that, and we haven't been approached about it. Why on Washington Street? Right downtown, Nashville Furniture Company.
How much square feet do you?
22,000, 25,000, somewhere along there.
And one reason we looked at that too is it had a gym already.
Yeah, so isn't that what the YMCA
But
and the
hold on,
schools are for?
I even was looking over at Freeman's Electronic, looking at what we have in town. I don't want to take away downtown business space either. You know, this is a spot that could be a thriving business. And if we start putting all of our municipal things there, we're all of a sudden turning the entire street into the county building area where we're losing business. So I'd hate to take up prime real estate like that.
I would hate to see you spend money to go outside the city limits when it wasn't necessary, when you can do it cheaper right here in town.
And
What's the difference? The county's on one side, the town of Nashville will be on the other.
Right, we're just losing more space because I know that was a huge complaint when those 3 buildings were given to the county and turned into the administrative building. It is something that we have to be careful of, otherwise we just have government downtown and no business whatsoever.
Well, no one's even asked us, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
So it's about the same amount of square footage. It's downtown, it's in the city limits. There wouldn't be the water and sewer. There wouldn't be the massive expense.
And I think
Has a new roof.
And I think the honest reason, Al, is exactly what Kate said. We're hoping that somebody will get that property and put some prosperous businesses there, to tell you the truth. So,
What about the cleaners? Yeah, what about the cleaners?
if you want to have something to say, you've got to come to the podium. That's just the rules and the order, so we have to do that.
Well, may I ask, what about the cleaners? Say he's a diabetic, he's got
The
sugar
cleaners
loads.
that we're doing now,
Yeah.
well, we're going to use that. We'll still use that for parks, but the gym out there could be used for the activities that we could do more things with our children during the winter, this type of thing.
I mean, even the city of Rocky Mountain doesn't have a gym. I mean, the
But they
Y
have
does.
2 Ys, you know, all the Ys there where they go,
Yeah,
and they do put money in
and that's,
that.
you know, I don't feel like we should be funding the gym.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, we all are human, we're all gonna have views and opinions, and we just have to pray that we look at everything, weigh everything out, and then make the right decision. That's just the way I feel, but thanks for your input, Al, I appreciate it. So we have.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Thank you. So, we've asked before, when can the public,
Name,
my name's Rick, I'm on 400 East Church Street. When can the public come see it?
We got this back, and we said we would schedule a time once we got this back, so we promise you we will.
Okay.
Right, Randy?
Can we make it like an evening? Because we asked before and they said something in the morning for us than most people that work.
I think the idea was to do a morning and an evening, so we
Okay.
could hit.
But we'll have to get with the owners to get their permission, because they
Exactly.
still own
But
it,
yeah,
so we'll
we're,
do that.
we're now like a month away from making a decision,
Yeah.
so.
But we will get with them, and then we'll, how do,
Randy, I think you already got the okay, correct?
Yeah, Mike Johnson said we could arrange such a thing. It's just a matter of what date you want to do it.
Kind of need to put that out there too, though. Thank you.
so we'll do that.
Yeah, if there's any suggestions,
Because we certainly do want you to be involved and have your input. Yes, ma'am.
Jacqueline Rogers, 406 Indian Trail here in Nashville. What I'm about to say will probably upset some people, but I think this will be more beneficial to the county. This building, all this size, we've given our sports and recs, we no longer have basketball, we no longer have baseball, we no longer have football, so as far as all this space for a gym, I mean, you can play, pickleball in the space that you're gonna have here. The senior center, it needs to be expanded.
Go ahead.
Even though that's county and this is Nashville, the senior center for the county needs to be expanded. And also the Nash Arts Building, the things that are held for Nash County, even though Nashville, yes, is a part of Nash County. But if you're looking at this space, this is right now, I think this is a total waste for Nashville. And then all of this, and then you're having to go out, as Councilman Taylor said, you're having to go out, and I understand what you're saying too, Mrs. Blunt, but I believe that your town business should be within your town. You shouldn't have to spend X amount of dollars to expand out somewhere that's not actually a part of. Even if you zone it, you still have to go out. That's just my opinion. Like you said, Meg, everybody has their opinion.
Well, we appreciate your opinion, but we aren't looking at that place for the gym, really.
Right, I
We're looking for
understand.
office space because we're outgrowing our police area, and the town office is outgrowing itself, so we're looking at it for a facility to house that too. But I see your opinion, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there, who made the vote? Did I get a second?
Oh, yes, I seconded it.
All those in favor of tabling this till our next meeting, let it be known by saying aye. The next item on our agenda is personnel policy amendment.
Mayor, Council, good evening. So today, the the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, which was created by the EEOC, went into effect. And essentially, in a nutshell, it just expands on Title VII, the FMLA, and the ADA to protect any type of pregnant worker related condition. In a nutshell, we have to treat it like a temporary disability. We have to make accommodations for it. We have to have an interactive process to see what they need. And it does not have the same burden of proof as other disabilities to the ADA. So with that being said, we needed to add that to our policy manual. I have included a copy of what that would look like. It would just be a section added in, and we would just change the page numbers as needed. But it did go into effect today. And I'm glad to answer any questions you may have about the policy or anything like that.
Any questions for Trey? I think you made it very clear in the presentation. So do I have a motion to approve amending the Town of Nashville's personnel policy with the addition of section 33 entitled Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, PWFA? There's second? Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Thank y'all.
The next item on our agenda is the Governor's Highway Safety Program. Run. Well, I told you it is.
So, next item on the agenda is the Governor Highway Safety Program. And we've had the opportunity, Deputy Chief Boykin got wind that there might be an ability to extend the grant, so he put in a request to do that, and it was approved. So what we have here this evening is in order to get the $54,715 Governor Highway Safety Grant Program for the upcoming fiscal year requires passage of Resolution 2423. And that's what we have here for the council to consider. The grant agreement is in there. It's the same as we've had the last 3 years. This will be the 4th year we have this grant program. And this is what allows us and enables us to do traffic enforcement out in 64 and also take advantage of that within town too.
And
And
Chief
David,
Boykin?
did you want to add anything?
This grant was originally a 3-year grant with the person and the equipment, and then each year it was reduced down. And then in the 4th year, we had the opportunity to reapply, and so we reapplied to get this 4th year at a reduction of, and it's going to cover basically half of the salary of the police officer that we would already have had budgeted in.
Thank you so much for doing the application. Are there any questions or input? If not, do I hear a motion to approve Resolution 2024-23, accepting the funding conditions of the NC Governor's Highway Safety Program grant?
So moved.
There's a second? Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
At this time, our next item on our agenda is from our Finance Officer, FY-23 Audit Correction Actions.
Tressa Rudd, Finance Director. So, the town's financial auditing firm, Thompson Price, they found 4 performance indicators concerning our 2022-2023 audit that required corrective actions. The first one was prior year adjustments were recorded to correct the beginning balances. So the corrective action that I propose to take is to basically review our ledger and reconcile our bank statements in a timely manner every month to ensure that the entries or the transactions are recorded in the correct period. The second one was reviewing and testing certain account balances. We noted that several accounts were not reconciled / adjusted timely. Same thing, we need to reconcile our bank statements every single month to ensure that the transactions are recorded in the correct period. Our current software that we have, it is capable of handling that function. I am working on it as we speak. I'm happy to say I have all of them reconciled except one. So I'm working on it now. The third item was the state drug fund deficit. Basically, it had a negative balance at the end of 2023. To correct that, we basically need to make sure that we transfer the money accordingly in the correct period. The fourth one, again, our audit was issued 7 months after the required date of October 31st, 2023. Of course, you guys know that we had some turnover in the finance department, and which delayed our audit. So this year, I have steps in place to basically roll over our current year in a timely manner and provide the auditor with all the information he needs. So we have corrective actions in place to resolve that next year.
Professor, would you explain what is meant by the deficit in the fund balance of the state drug fund?
So when the auditor was here on our last meeting, that was one of the findings. Basically, it had a deficit, so the money was not transferred, the interest were not transferred. There were no,
Where was the money?
it's here, there was no entry made. So
So it's not like it was overdrawn,
Right.
where
Oh, okay.
It just
we were
wasn't-
owed money. It was
right.
just that it wasn't reconciled
It was
properly
not,
in the right
there was no
period.
transfer between the funds to balance it. It should be balanced. You should have a balanced budget throughout the year. And because the money was never transferred from one fund to the other to make it not be a deficit, it was a finding. Could have been an oversight, I'm not for sure, but
But there's nothing that needs to be reimbursed. Okay.
it's been resolved at this point. It was just a finding, but it's to make sure that we budget properly and make the transfers prior to 6:30.
And the email that was sent out about the FPIC response, does this satisfy that, or is there something that we need to do collectively or individually?
So there is a response from you guys. We can work together to respond within 60 days
So
to
you have-
acknowledge the corrective action.
So individually, we have to do that
I think we can do it
collectively?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll speak with Hunter to make sure, but we have the clock is ticking, but.
Well, I think, if my memory serves correct, we have had situations like this once before, and you drafted, not you, but the finance
Right.
director drafted
And
a
then we just all
letter
signed it.
to the state, and we all had to sign it and send it
Okay.
in. So I think that's what we need to do now.
That's fine.
And then once we sign it, send it in, they can say yes or no, whether or not they accept this, or do they know it's already.
Why audit has been accepted according to Hunter?
It's already been accepted?
I mean, it's been submitted to the agency, but he just needs y'all's response back, so we can work on it.
And Larry, you are right, all the council needs to sign that letter, so.
Just get a letter, we'll all
We've made procedures to change all this.
These are the corrective actions that we're going to take to make sure that we don't have these findings on the next audit.
So do I hear a motion to approve the finance director's recommended corrective action to the 4 financial performance indicators of concern, FPICs, in the town's 2022-2023 financial audit and submit them to the local government commission?
So maybe.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Okay,
And Mayor, if I may, let me just say this to our finance director, and thank you for adding the part about corrective steps have been put in place so that we don't have this as a redundant situation going forward. We appreciate you being at the helm. We know it's been a learning curve and different things took place that was unforeseen, but now that you have steps in place, we're grateful for that, and thank you for sharing that so that we can all acknowledge that, not just as a council, but as citizens and all that may be able to hear and receive that. So thank you.
thank you. Impressive, you have done a great job. The next item on our agenda is the yearly budget amendments.
Okay, so we have 4 budget amendments. The first one is budget amendment number 15. The town purchased 797 Cook Road, Nashville, North Carolina from Prime One Builders LLC on May 2nd, 2024. The economic development in the amount of $111,764. $111,764. The town contracted Dawson Construction Services for due diligence inspection for the Fellowship Church on 969 Old White Oak Road. The total for the due diligence was $11,866. Also, $2,500 for the appraisal for the Fellowship Church property. This budget amendment appropriates $126,379 from fund balance for FY24 to cover the expenses of $126,379 in expenses.
Do I hear a motion to approve this amendment?
So,
Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Amendment 15 approved.
Okay, budget amendment 16. The fiscal year 23 to fiscal year 24 rollover purchase for the police vehicles and the upfits came in higher than expected. The budget amendment increases the revenues and expenses by $12,550 to avoid a deficit in Fund 41. You can also reference back to budget amendment 4 for the original amendment.
Do I hear a motion for us to approve budget amendment number 16?
So maybe.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Amendment number 16 is approved.
Okay, budget amendment number 17 recognizes $75,000 in additional revenue in FY '24, and it covers a new mower for Fire Station 2 at $11,500, additional expenses for Parks and Rec summer camp $1,500, the fire department's share of the public safety director at $25,000, unexpected insurance expenses for council $1,000, additional central maintenance expenses of $8,000, buyback of cemetery lots $3,000, additional cybersecurity of $5,000, and the purchase of the new Christmas decoration of $20,000. This amendment will increase the revenues and expenses by $75,000 for the fiscal year '24.
Any questions about this amendment?
What kind of lawnmower we buying for $11,000?
It actually came in a little less. I think it's right at 11, but
Is it a lawnmower or a tractor?
No, it's a zero turn mower. It came from Bell's Hardware.
$11,000?
It was the lowest of the three bids. We got one from Strickland Equipment and one from the John Deere dealer.
and
So-
that particular additional revenue, basically the county reimbursed the fire department for equipment that they had already purchased, so it's repurposed money, I would say. So basically they were reimbursed $11,500, but the lawnmower came in a little less than $11,500.
They got, it's a 4-acre lot.
Well, I was hoping it was a tractor. I mean, a tractor. But anyway.
Do I hear a motion to approve budget amendment number 17?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Amendment 17 approved.
Okay, last one is budget amendment number 18, which is the use of FY '24 budget $50,000 in contingency to cover the cost of, to cover additional costs for the new public works. I think it's worded wrong. We have a new public works employee that came in at a higher salary than our former employer. Also, it covers the accrual leave that was paid out to the former employer that left, the employee that left. That was $15,000. Unexpected legal fees and HR of $20,000. And council approved the pay increase for the town manager of $7,000. New laptop for the clerk of $1,000, and additional admin legal fees of $6,000. The additional admin software and data support of $1,000.
Any questions concerning this budget amendment?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Budget amendment number 18 is approved. At this time, do I hear a motion for us to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS I43-31811 concerning economic development?
So moved.
You need to
We
read
gotta
it.
read it.
Motion to go into closed session pursuant to Oklahoma General Statutes 143-318.11A4 to discuss economic development project.
Is there a second? All those in favor? At this time, we'll go into closed session.
So if we could have the room cleared out, when we're finished, we'll open the doors back up. And, the council may or may not take action when they come back, but if they do, you'll be let in. Need a hand, Joey?
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
I'll get him to text you.
didn't lock the door.
I know, how are we supposed to know? You gotta come out and get us.
I didn't know you were outside. I walked into the hallway and said, come back in, we're coming out of
I was
closed session.
sitting in a chair outside.
We'll know for next time.
Is that everybody?
Yes, ma'am. We
Do
good
I
to
hear
go?
a motion to come out of
Saving?
closed session?
So moved.
Is that second? Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And, I guess that ends everything. Do you have any more comment? We really didn't make a decision on anything in closed session, so anyway, if not, do I hear a motion for this meeting to be adjourned?
So moved.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Meeting is adjourned.
What happened to the town manager report?
It's on the agenda.
Oh.
That's why I hung
That's what I'm
around.
waiting for right now.
Thanks everybody for coming out.
Oh, really?